Hello everybody and happy May the 20th, 2025. Thank you for stopping by. It means a lot. Like I said, today's May 20th, 2025. If you know me, you know I like palindromes. And if you look at today's date, 5/20/25 forwards, but then look at it backwards, it's also 5/20/2025. So this day is the same both forward and backwards. Pretty cool. Alright, first off, shout out and congratulations on 1 year on YouTube to Mark at Mark's Dodgers Cards. And he's doing a VR contest. He wants us to shout out 3 people, and he wants us to tell our favorite team and on our favorite set. So here we go. But congratulations on 1 year. Looking forward to seeing you many more years on the YouTube road. But first off, my favorite card set is the 1965 Topps, and my favorite team is the Houston Astros, and this is the first year of the Houston Astros on the 1965 Topps cards, because the Houston Colt 45s was the team that started, and they played in 62, 63, and 64 as the Colt 45s, Houston Colt 45s. So the 1965 set is the first set that features the Houston Astros, who they remain to be today. But there's a card of Bob Aspromonte. I got him to autograph. And Bob has Mark is a Dodgers fan, and Bob has a Dodgers connection. Bob Aspromonte was signed as an amateur free agent by the Brooklyn Dodgers July the 20th, 1956. And on September 19th, 1956, the pennant-bound Brooklyn Dodgers beat the St. Louis Cardinals 17-2 at Ebbets Field. Bob Aspromonte made his major league debut at age 18, striking out as a pinch hitter for Sandy Amoros in the 8th inning. Bob was then selected by the Houston Colt 45s. Before that, I'll show you the back of the card. My favorite set of all time, 1965. I always like the cartoons. Bob Aspromonte. Bob played 57 consecutive airless games at third base to set a record. But you see there the first stat, 1956 Brooklyn National League, 1 game, 1 at bat. That's what I just mentioned. He struck out in his only at bat as a pinch hitter. So he only played 1 game in Brooklyn. And then he also played in 1960 and 61 with the Dodgers. But how did he get to the Astros? He was selected by the Houston Colt 45s from the LA Dodgers, the 3rd pick overall in the expansion draft, October 10th, 1961. And on April the 10th, 1962, Aspromonte playing third base and was inserted into the leadoff position. He became the first batter in Houston Major League Baseball history. And in that at-bat, he singled to left field off of Don Cardwell of the Chicago Cubs for Houston's first hit, and scored their first ever run when the next batter, Al Spangler, Spanky Spangler, tripled. And another Brooklyn Dodgers connection. Bob Aspromonte's last at bat was with the New York Mets in 1971. Bob is the last Brooklyn Dodger to play in the major leagues. So he was the last of the Brooklyn Dodgers to play in the major leagues in 1971. So there you have my favorite card set, the 1965 Topps, and here featuring a player off of my favorite team, the Houston Astros, Bob Aspromonte. And while I'm shouting out, my first shout is Sean, the Jedi Master. I'll leave his link in the description, but he's a fellow Astros fan. Although not on my favorite team, here's another card from the 1965 set. But he is my fellow Alabamian, Bob Veal, for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Bob Veal was the National League strikeout leader in 1964 with the Pittsburgh Pirates. As you can see, the last year mentioned on this card, 1964, he went 18-12 with 250 strikeouts. He was a two-time All-Star in 1965 and 1966 with the Pirates, and he won a World Series championship in 1971 with the Pirates. The Pirates released him, and he played a few years with the Boston Red Sox. But my fellow Alabamian, Bob Veal, my favorite Topps year set, 1965. And if you notice, as I'm talking about these, today is Palindrome Day. Same forward and backwards. The player's name, Bob, spelled backwards is Bob. Bob, spelled backwards is Bob. And to keep the theme going, 1965 and Bob, we have Bob Skinner. And before I get to Bob Skinner, my shout-outs for Pittsburgh Pirates. We have Michael Myers over at Meyer Heads Cards. And we have Math Bowler 2782. Both of them are Pirates fans, so shout out to those two guys who also do Through the Mail Autograph. That's two of my favorite channels to watch for Through the Mail autographs, and that's how I got these autographs, was through the mail. Bob Veal passed away in the first of this year, but I enjoyed hearing back from him, my fellow Alabamian. But shout out to those two guys who love the Pirates. And now on to Bob Skinner on this 1965 card here with the Cardinals. Bob Skinner was a three-time All-Star with the Pirates. Speaking of the Pirates, he was a three-time World Series champion, 1960 with the Pirates, 1964 with these Cardinals, and once again in 1979 with the Pirates when he was a hitting instructor for the Pirates in 1979. We are family. Coming up, another 1965 card with another Bob. Bob spelled backwards is Bob. Bob Savarine. Pitcher an infielder and outfielder for the Orioles and also the Washington Senators. On September 12, 1964, he scored the only run in a rare battle of complete game one-hitters between Orioles pitcher Frank Bertana and Kansas City Athletics pitcher Bob Meyer. So Bob, spelled backwards, is Bob on this 1965 card. Another Bob Lillis, who was a shortstop manager and member of the Pasadena Sports Hall of Fame. I love the clouds in the background. I love the Houston Colt 45 jerseys. This is a 1963 Topps card, but Bob spelled backwards is Bob on this Palindrome Day. Back in the day, they weren't heavily compensated to play sports. So you can see Bob sells automobiles during the off season. Another palindrome, Bob Malacky. On July 13th, 1991, the Orioles defeated the A's 2-0 on a combined no-hitter. Bob Malacky pitched the first 6 innings of no-hit ball. And the last batter of the 6th inning lined a baseball off of Bob Malacky's arm. But the ball went over to first base and they got the runner out, so he pitched 6 innings of complete no-hit baseball. Had to leave the game because of injury. And then the 7th inning, the pitcher came in and pitched a no-hitter. The 8th inning, the relief pitcher came in and pitched a no-hitter. And the 9th inning, Greg Olson, the good closer for the Orioles, came in and pitched the 9th inning to wrap it up. So they combined 4 pitchers for the Orioles combined on a no-hitter. But Bob Malacky pitched 6 of those innings. And Bob, spelled backwards, is Bob. Another Bob palindrome, Bob Zupsik. He hit 2 grand slams during his rookie season in 1992 with the Red Sox. Bob Tewksbury, another palindrome. Bob Tewksbury was an all-star in 1992 with the Cardinals. He pitched with like 6 different major league teams, but here's his minor league card with the Iowa Cubs. On the basketball palindrome, you got Bob Sura. Bobby Sura is the all-time leading scorer at Florida State with 2,130 career points. He also played in the NBA, starting with the Cleveland Cavaliers, played for other teams as well. But as you can see, he was drafted by Cleveland first round, 1995. One of my favorite palindromes, Mr. Bob Cousy. I'm a Celtics fan. He was before my time, but loved watching old film. He personalized it to Barry. He signs his cards with peace. I love that. I'm all for peace. Bob Cousy. The Houdini of the hardwood, 6-time NBA champion, 1957 NBA MVP. And he was on 13 all-star teams, among many other accomplishments. Love the Celtics. I love Bob. A great player, a great palindrome, Bob Cousy. And then on the football palindrome, Bob Greasy. 2-time Super Bowl champion. He played his whole career with the Miami Dolphins. 6-time Pro Bowl. Bob Greasy. In the background, I got another palindrome. My only palindrome that don't have the name Bob is J.J. Stokes. J.J. spelled backwards, of course, is J.J. But J.J. Stokes was a great wide receiver at UCLA. He also played for the 49ers, of course. But he was the Pac-10 Offensive Player of the Year with UCLA back in 1993. And he also won a Super Bowl championship with the Patriots in 2003. So J.J. Stokes. And last palindrome, back to Bob's. What about Bob? Bob Huggins, the Huggy Bear. He was the 6th men's college basketball coach with 900 or more victories. So there you have it on this Palindrome May Day, 5/20/25. All these players were palindromes. Most of them were Bobs. Just had to throw in one non-Bob for all the non-Bobs out there like myself. But I appreciate everybody that's watched. Back to my original shout-out of Mark's Dodgers cards. Y'all go check him out. Celebrating 1 year on YouTube. Tell him happy YouTube anniversary. Give him a subscription. Watch some of his videos. Give him a like. Great channel. And I hope everybody enjoyed this. I want to thank everybody for stopping by. I hope you have a great Palindrome remainder day today. And I hope to see you again somewhere down the road. My time is up, and I thank you for yours.